Cinema Night Podcast. Today it's two people, me, Travis, coming to you. We're going to talk about Hot Tub Time Machine, Travis's selection, 2010 film with John Cusack, Craig Robinson, all kinds of fun people. It's going to be a good time. Our pal Eric is, he's ill. You know, he's got a lot of sicknesses that he runs into with his job and, you know, having children. It can't be easy, Travis. The children can be filled with germs and they can spread them around.
I mean, all humans can, but children extra, and he's surrounded by them at all times, which is why he gets some sort of respiratory hell like 7-8 times a year. So
respiratory hell. Oh, email the show, cinemanipod@gmail.com. We actually have one email here. This is from Joe. Jump right into it. It says, hey guys, a few weeks ago I saw the movie Anna suggested for me on Netflix. It looked vaguely familiar, but I threw it on anyway. As it went on, I had a growing feeling that I had indeed watched this movie, and after about 20 minutes, I knew I had. It's a decently fun and well-done action flick and the type of semi-mindless movies I enjoy. But that's besides the point. How could this happen? Well, until about 6 months ago, I was on my brother-in-law's Netflix account, and when I made one for our family, I didn't transfer our data where it would have shown that I'd already watched it. Also, my memory isn't what it used to be. It's now logged into my letterboxed films, which is one of the benefits of starting that up. Anyways, I assume this is something that happens to you guys as well, given the volume of movies you all watch. If you don't, the answer to the joke in the subject line, if you don't get it already, the follow-up question is, what's the first thing to go? And the answer is, I forgot. Cheers, Joe.
Always good to hear from Joe. I feel like, I mean, there's been a lot of shows that we've done recently where I'm like, yeah, I saw that. And then I go to watch it like, nope, no, I never saw that. And equally, I can think of the movie in particular, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I've watched that movie 3 times and hated it every single time. But like the second, the third time, I'm like halfway through it. I'm like, have I seen? Oh, fuck. Yeah, I have. And finally, after the third time, I'm like, never again. It's imprinted. That movie sucks.
Oh, well, hey, movies bring us together. That's what it's all about. But it doesn't mean that we remember every time we throw on a film.
It's called male bonding, okay? Haven't you even seen Wild Hogs?
One of the best quotes from the movie.
Absolutely. I never saw Wild Hogs. Have you seen Wild Hogs?
Oh, of course. I saw it when it was new with that cast. Yeah, I fucking saw it when it was new. Didn't see it in theaters, thank God. It's not lucky numbers in theaters. Can't get that time back. But
okay.
Yeah, it was not a good experience. Wild Hogs. Good joke, though, from Hot Tub Time Machine.
Excellent joke. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. I definitely was thinking of the Americanization of Emily when you just said The Exorcism of Emily Rose. What's with movies and Emily in the long title? That's interesting.
She goes to Paris, apparently, also on television, but I've never seen that either.
Oh,
all right. Yeah, let's talk about things we've never seen.
Hey, all right. Actually, we'll call it Quarantine Viewing Picks. Remember, you can email the show, cinemanipod@gmail.com. Tell us what you've been watching. Share in our past episodes, which there are 181 of, and then there'll be 182 after this one. What's going on with your viewing habits recently, Travis?
Well, I finished Daredevil for the 3rd time, I think, and it's fun to watch stuff from the Trump administration because, like, by season 3, Kingpin is clearly Trump. I mean, he's just saying shit like straight out of Trump's, like, it's like word for word, except for, you know, more coherent. So that show is it's got to be one of the best things that Marvel has ever put out on film. It's so fucking strong. It's really good. I checked out a couple great movies I want to suggest. Actually, I watched some really good stuff. Shit, looking at this, I watched some really good stuff. I checked out Story Avenue, a independent feature from last year, 2023, where I went for it because I thought it was going to be a strong two-hander between like a young actor who I was unfamiliar with and Louis Guzman. And it was, but Guzman was in it a lot less. But I was like, Guzman, like a strong dramatic turn. And he is fucking awesome in it. And actually, the kid who was unknown to me, he's like a 20-year-old playing a 17-year-old, killed it. Just awesome coming of age story. Really powerful and unconventional. Like it kind of fucks with you a little bit, and it's sad, but it was really good. I liked it quite a bit. And then, you know, it's getting to be Oscar time. We were going to talk about our best films of 2023 this episode, but we'll wait for Eric. But a lot of stuff is starting to become available now, so I finally have started to see some of that. And I don't know where to begin in terms of suggestions. I guess I do if I really look at this list. So Rustin, I love Coleman Domingo. I remember when Fear the Walking Dead came out, I was already pretty off of Walking Dead, but I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And I end up watching 2 seasons of that shitty show because Coleman Domingo's character alone. I'm like, who is this guy? Can't take my eyes off him. And he's incredible in Rustin. And Bayard Rustin is someone who deserves a movie, I think. It wasn't, I don't think, like cookie cutter biopic, although I've heard other people say that it was, but I didn't find it to be so. And I definitely am glad that he's gotten nominated for it. I don't know if he'll win or not, but I hope it gives his career a good boost because he's a fucking great actor. And it's also, he's reunited with George C. Wolfe, who directed, what was that movie? Ma Rainey's Black
Ma
Bottom.
Rainey's Black Bottom. Yep.
Yeah. They're kind of routine for that. So definitely worth checking out. It's on Netflix. Also on Netflix, I'm going to make my main suggestion. But before I get to that, I checked out Past Lives, which I'd heard a lot about over the past year. A24 film, kind of an international feature in the U.S. It's very much based in Seoul and New York, and you have it's a relationship that takes place over like 25 years, or actually even longer, I think. And you're kind of checking in with them at a few different points in their life. And again, another unconventional story, not what you'd expect. It's nominated for Best Picture. There's 10 nominees for Best Picture. I'd be surprised if it won, but I'm really glad it was nominated because I think it'll get a lot more eyes on it. I was planning on watching it, but definitely once it got the nod, I'm like, okay, I'll do that. I'll finally put it under the belt. My main suggestion, the movie that really blew me away this week, is also nominated for a Best Picture Oscar, but in the international category, and that's Society of the Snow, which is a terrible name for a film, but it's based on a book, and the book is based on the same event that Alive is based on, the 1992 film. So it's like it's all about the Uruguayan plane crash in 1972 and that whole bit. And I've read that book, and it is that on screen, and it is just really awesome. You got a really beautiful score from Here's the Batman.
Your buddy.
Yep, he shows up, and you have a mostly Uruguayan and Argentinian cast, and it's brutal, man. But I mean, like, it's edge of your seat. I mean, it's 2.5 hours, and it goes by really fast, and it's from almost the beginning, it's like, fuck, oh God, this is happening now. Oh shit, now this is happening. Oh my God. It's really, I loved it. Definitely recommend.
Okay, yeah, Alive. I never saw Alive. I remember it well. I remember seeing the book in the library. I might even read a few pages.
I wrote a big paper on survival cannibalism when I was in doing my grad work. Historiography of the subject. Yeah, and I read it as part of that, and loved it. And that story is something else. It's really one of the most incredible human stories, and that's why people keep paying attention to it. It's really good.
Would you try actually, somebody asked me this recently. This is kind of coincidental, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't know how society and life works, but a friend of mine asked me, would you eat ethically acquired human meat? Would you try it? Ethically acquired, of course.
I mean, for one, we're living in a time where they're starting to have, we're going to have lab produced meat, I think, regularly in the near future. I hope. I'd love to eat meat that comes from nothing, that killed nothing. That would be beautiful. I don't think that ethically sourced human is a thing. I guess if it is, and you're eating, like, I don't know, people that died of cancer, elderly folk, might be a little tough. And beyond all that, I would not eat human were it not for, obviously I've spent some time thinking about the subject. I would not eat human unless it was to survive. I would then. I don't judge anyone that would to do anything to survive. I get it. When you get down to it, we're animals and we'll do whatever we got to do. But I would never do that unless I had no other choice. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know if I would or not. I mean, if it was friend I asked lives in New York City, and it's a big city with a lot of restaurants. So who knows? There probably could be a new restaurant that is offering ethically sourced human meat now.
There probably has been throughout history.
Probably, it's already been done. I'm not opposed to trying things as long as I'm not hurting anybody. So
all right. Well, to each
give it a taste. I like to try things. I
like to try things too, but not my neighbors.
No, I don't want to eat my neighbor. Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know. I don't need to have like a whole steak. If I could have like just maybe a
nibble,
a nibble, a rib. I don't know. So.
Just the tip of a pinky. Didn't kill them. They just cut off their pinky. I could do that.
Exactly. See, that's easy. That's fun. Okay, yeah. Like you, I'm really locked in. I did a lot of hard work for the best of 2023, so I'll have to hold off on that, which we will do hopefully next episode. So I won't say anything from that. Mm-hmm. I watched a documentary on Mary Kay Letourneau, Notes on a Scandal.
I've heard
I think it was at HBO Max or Max now, whatever the fuck it is. It's on Max if you want to watch it.
Wait, isn't there a movie called Notes on a Scandal with?
There certainly is. Yes, Notes on a Scandal, 2005. Okay. Kate Blanchett and Dame Judi Dench.
I never saw it, but I know the story sort of. Okay,
I've thought about bringing it to the show a few times. So yeah,
same thing. Is it the same story?
No, it's just I don't know. Obviously, Notes on a Scandal may have taken because Mary Kay Letourneau happened in 97. Notes on a Scandal comes out in 2005. It's a scandal, so there's all kinds of scandals, though. So I don't know what the connection is there, but Notes on a Scandal does have something to do with something similar to Mary Kay Letourneau, so I will say that. But Mary Kay Letourneau, if you don't remember, yeah, she was one of the early media darlings of having sex with the student, which is bizarre, but that is the world we live in, apparently. So
okay, yeah, all right.
And not only did they have sex, he was 13, 12 years old, but they were in love, and they had multiple kids together.
In love, quote unquote.
Yes.
Okay. So there's another movie that came out this year with the same subject. Okay. It's that kind of year. All right.
So wild. I mean, the documentary is wild. You also learned a bunch of stuff I never knew about her, a background. I would really recommend that as a doc if you want to kind of find out how the story ended up ending as well. By the way, she died like a couple of years ago from cancer, so she's dead. She was younger anyways. She died when she's like 50. So she's gone now. But interesting story. And I would definitely recommend Mary Kay Letourneau, Notes on a Scandal. I also watched House of Hammer about the Hammers. Army Hammer.
Oh, wow. The Hammer, like the Arm & Hammer Corporation family.
Yes.
All the way down to, speaking of cannibalism.
Yes. Exactly. Wow. Very apropos. Really good doc. It's 3 episodes, so it's like a short doc series on Max. I'm really glad I watched it because I learned a whole shitload of shit about Armand Hammer, who was a great grandfather, then the son, so on until we get to Army, and it's not much of a. There's definitely a link between Army and all the other Hammers, so not something he just picked up suddenly. I will say that, and of course, when it comes to great wealth, as you know, Travis, we know. Because we've paid attention that there's always some scumbag story. Somebody got fucked. Somebody was exploited. There's it's really good. I'd recommend it. House of Hammer.
Okay.
On Max. And then I finally watched the last season of Succession. I hadn't gotten around to that, so I knocked that out. Glad to get that over with. I don't want to watch that show over again. I really don't. But I watched it. So
all right.
It's like rich people. It's too true to life. It's like, fuck these people. Fuck this shit.
Why I haven't watched it. Everyone tells me it's the greatest show ever, but like that's also what I hear too. I'm like, I just don't want to watch the worst people doing the worst things. I mean, I'm already frustrated every day anyway. But
exactly.
The state of things. I don't want to fucking have it shoved in my face when I'm trying to get into some escapism.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all the acting's great, Kieran Culkin and Jeremy Strong. And
sure.
It's fantastic acting and it's well done, but it's like, I'll never watch it again. Sarah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, from the movie we did, 1997.
Predestination.
Yeah, not 97, but Predestination. We did that one.
Siri's jumping in. She's got poor hearing. She thinks.
Hi, Siri.
I said Sarah. Snooson, Swanson, Samsonite. I forget.
Samsonite. Thank you. Yeah, her. Okay, so I'll never watch it again, but I watch it. So there you go. Check out that stuff. Everything else I gotta save for the next episode here. I got lots of thoughts on. Lots of stuff from 2023. Okay, with that note, let's get into our main event now. It's time to focus on Travis's selection for this week. Hot Tub Time Machine.
Great White Buffalo.
Great White Buffalo.
Great White Buffalo. Great White Buffalo.
That's right.
I have to say it. Eric is sick. Obviously, he has been sick. He's ill.
Yeah.
But he also It just annoyed me right off the bat. Oh, I got one note on this thing. Fuck it. Fuck that shit. Come on. There's lots of. First off, Eric loves 80s music, so he's totally. You're just mailing it in. I'm not buying his text. I'm not. So.
Yeah. So to the listener, Mike's referring to the text that he sent us right before the show, where he said he wouldn't be able to make it because of the timing and his illness, and that he only had one note on the movie anyway, which I'm sure is fuck it, trash. I hated it. I forget what joy feels like. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I have to agree with Travis on that all the way, Eric. You can prove us otherwise next time we talk to you on the show.
I'd love to be wrong.
Yes, we'd love to be wrong. But, okay, so, I definitely have seen this movie before. There's no doubt about that. But do you remember your first viewing of this 2010 film?
I do. Yeah, I saw this not in theaters, but when it came out on rental. So that puts you right about the time. This is one of the last movies I remember like renting from somewhere. We maybe even rented it off TV, but I think we actually like went to a store. And it was when it was either I was in town in West Virginia like for the holidays, or it was when I had just moved down there for a couple years around that same time. At any rate, I was like with my mom and my sister and some other family. And this was the movie that we ended up throwing on.
Wow, dude.
Yes. I remember the bathroom soap on the face scene in particular being awkward as fuck and still laughing, but being like, Jesus Christ. My mom being like, ah.
Did she sit through the whole thing?
Yeah, we all did.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
a movie watching family, we could handle it.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good to know. I mean,
it's called male bonding, okay? Haven't you even seen Wild Hogs?
Not all of you were male, but yeah. So,
yeah, no, we were not.
It was bonding time. The Roy family bonds over Hot Tub Time Machine. Right. For me, I have a very distinct memory of this film. Absolutely locked in. 2010, spring break, 2010, Michigan. My senior year at Michigan, so I was a student teacher, and I was on spring break. So I went to the theater on like a Tuesday night. I'm like, I'm going to go see Hot Tub Time Machine. I really was like excited about it for some reason, or it just sounded so wild to me. And I saw that John Cusack was in it. I think it's important to note that, Cusack at this time, it kind of fallen off, I feel like. I think it's fair to say. And now he's fallen off even further. I mean, obviously, he's old now. He's just old.
This was maybe his last real hurrah.
Yes. I was going to say the same thing. I will jump in and concur with that. This is like the last, this is a good Cusack performance.
Well, no, I mean, he did Frozen Ground, I think, in 2013 or 2012, where he played serial killer, which was
he did
really
Love and
good.
Mercy too. So
yeah,
I mean,
Love and Mercy after that.
Okay,
but this was like the last. When I say, I mean, it was like the last like big movie he did that was like widely embraced, and it was a return to comedy. I feel like. And I'm not looking at his IMDb page right now, but I do feel like he hadn't done comedies in a while. He'd done like Grosse Point Blank, and he's reunited with I forget the dude's name. It's the same guy that did that was one of the writers of Grosse Point Blank, and they clearly became friends. Stephen Free, I think his name is.
Yeah, that guy. I know who you're talking about. I got to look it up, but
yeah, look it up.
Yeah, that guy.
I think his name's Stephen Free, but so he had done Grosse Point Blank, and then he went on to do High Fidelity. And for a certain men of a certain age, those two movies, especially High Fidelity, had a pretty, they were comedy gems. And American Sweethearts, you and I are a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Well, so he'd had like a good run of comedies, and then kind of sat out almost a decade, it seemed like. And he came back with this, and then, I don't know, started raging on Twitter, I guess.
Yeah, he's got that. Steve Pink is his name.
Okay, and it was
the director.
Okay,
Steve Pink. Yeah, so I remember watching it, going to the theater by myself, and I remember it being a good time. I was feeling good about life. I was optimistic. I was, going to graduate soon, and I was in good health. It was a good time. So it's a good memory. That's why I remember it so distinctly, I think. Mm-hmm. It was a good night, and I enjoyed it. I had a great time, and I told everybody when I got back that I saw it at the house because I was still living at the Berkeley hut that year. And I was like, dude, it's hilarious. You guys got to see this movie. You will laugh. So
and people did laugh. They liked it so much they made a sequel, and John didn't come back.
Yeah.
Not a good sequel.
It's not. Yeah. Just got to be, It's just called like it is.
I like everyone in it. I love Adam Scott, but it just wasn't good.
Of course. It was fine as it was. How about the rating? I don't know the rating. I'm excited to guess this one, though.
All I know is that I overguess every single time we play this game. So I'm going to shoot downward. I'm going to say 6.4.
Oh, My gut's telling me that maybe it cracks 7, like it's 7-1. So I'm gonna go 7-1.
Okay.
Oh, you nailed it! Hey!
6.4?
You directly nailed the score exact. Congratulations, Travis. See, when you change for the better, it's a good thing.
The thing about it not just being like a return for Cusack to comedy, and I imagine, and I don't mean to speak for Eric, but if to give him some credit, if he did hate the movie, this is like the last, as I feel, of the big gross out comedies that I actually liked. There's some real gross out moments in this, which has never been Eric's cup of tea, and who could blame him?
It's exactly what I thought of too. When I turned it on to watch it for this time, I'm like, yeah, okay. So we've had discussions about how comedy changed, and that's like the late 90s, early 2000s gross outs. Like, oh, by the way, I didn't mention that. That just reminded me. There's something I did watch that I didn't mention, because I'm glad I didn't. But I watched Van Wilder, and God, that's a perfect example of it's so fucking gross. Terrible. It's one of the grossest. I wrote it down. I think one of the grossest films I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
Turning. It's literally disgusting. Like, it makes me feel ill to still remember that movie.
Yeah. This is a quote. Most disgusting scene I've ever seen in a film. I wrote that down for Van Wilder.
I know exactly what scene. And you and I are fans of Freddy Got Fingered. That's how you and I feel about this kind of stuff. We can handle it. You loved waiting. Like, we can handle this shit, but man, Van Wilder, that is a messy turd.
It sure is. I'm glad that came up. But yes, you're right. So let's have some movies. American Pies, the Van Wilders, the rated R comedy, Wedding Crashers made a bunch of money in 2005. And that's not a gross out movie, but it's rated R comedy. This is a rated R comedy, and it's a gross out film. It is.
Serving Sarah, where Matthew Perry put his hand up a horse.
Saving Silverman. Some weird shit happens in that movie too. Right. All these movies. Yeah, sorry. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry, by the way.
Not the highlight of his career.
No, not many highlights outside of Friends. Well, maybe that's not fair. There's a couple movies I liked.
I'm a huge fan of.
I know you're going to do the Swimmer. The Swimmer one?
No. He did two that I love. He did two to Tango, which I love, and I also love Fools Rush In.
That's it. Fools Rush In. Yeah,
that wasn't Swimmer.
Yeah, what movie is that?
That's with Salma Hayek.
Okay. I'm thinking there's a Schwimmer one where like a guy is dating another.
Is what you're thinking of. Yeah.
See, I'm mixing up Jason Lee and Matthew Perry. That's strange. As far as the critical reviews on Hot Tub Time Machine, I mean, you got a 64% for the critics, so it actually passes the test barely. And oddly enough, Travis, this is a big discrepancy here from the IMDb rating, or maybe not too much, but it's a 56% from the crowd. It's a tipped over, buttered, popcorn on the floor mess.
I'm amazed at a movie like this that the critics would rate it higher than the audience.
I know, right? Mind blowing.
That's weird. I mean, it made money, or else they wouldn't have made a sequel. That's wild.
100%. Yeah, that is truly one of the more bizarre. I guess I didn't know what to expect on this one, but that is wild. Yeah. Critical review. How about what? Wait, is this? Okay, so it's the picture is also verifying that's who I'm thinking of. It says Ed Koch.
Okay.
And it's got a picture of the mayor of New York City.
Why?
And it says it's from The Atlantic. I don't know what's going on here. Did Ed Koch do a very special guest appearance as a movie critic for The Atlantic?
I think he was dead by that point.
What the I'm going to read it. So according to Ed Koch of The Atlantic.
And a column.
On Hot Tub Time Machine. Of all fucking movies. Wow, this is bizarre. It may be a generational gap that turned me off, but I thought it was all quite ridiculous. And the dialogue, worse than coarse. Trust me, and not those in their 30s, it is not worth your time. Thanks, Ed.
I was 30.
I was 29, about to be 30, yeah. Let's see. A lot of people chimed in on this one. We got how about Ian Buckhalter of NPR? What would NPR have to say about this film? Ian said,
not good things.
Well, you might be surprised. Admirably turns a potentially one-note joke into a consistently funny package.
All right. Way to go, Nipper.
Yeah, NPR's down. yeah, looking for Rob Gonsalves. We've hit him up from time to time. For Cusack and Pink, this is kind of the conclusion of their trilogy of films. There you go. About the depressed Cusackian hero escaping into past simplicity. Oh,
Cusackian. I kind of like it.
I do too. That fits. That plays. Good job, Gonsalves. Huh. Let's see. Eddie Desson. Trying to see if we can get a Desson Thompson reference in this one. I would. He might have been unavailable, right? I mean, Obama term 1.
Yeah, you're right. By that point.
I would love to get his opinion on this film, though. I'm sure he's probably watched it. No, not seeing it.
Hey, Des, you seen Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yeah, hit him up, please. Yeah, we should have done that before the show. Oh, boy. Wow, we had a lot of reviews. But yeah, so I'm not seeing Eddie Desson. But yeah, this is Cusackian trip to the past to try to move forward, or like longing for a past that no longer exists. That's interesting. I like that. That's a cool vibe.
Yeah, there's that moment in the movie where Cusack's wanting to get out and he says, "We had Reagan and AIDS. Let's get the fuck out of here."
Okay, yeah, that's a great point. So, I mean, this movie it is. This is a meta movie. There's a lot of meta shit in this film. It is. So you might think Hot Tub Time Machine. No,
Craig
but
Robinson
yeah.
looks at the camera at one point when he says Hot Tub Time Machine. He looks directly at the camera. That's meta as fuck.
It is. You're right. And it's the 80s, which basically made Cusack. I mean, that was where he made his bones.
Did you catch the reference? Did you catch the reference to one of his other films?
$2?
I want my $2. Yeah.
It's not. Nobody's on camera. You just hear two guys passing by on their skis saying, "I want my $2." Or the guy on the phone, "I want my $2 bet." The giant
I don't think
phone.
I ever caught it before the viewing 3.5 weeks ago. Whenever the fuck I watched this thing, I barely remember it.
I don't know if I did either, but I did catch it this viewing as well. So it's here we go. Roger Ebert, real quick. I'll get him on the record. Hot Tub Time Machine, which wants nothing more than to be a screwball farce, succeeds beyond any expectation suggested by the title and extends John Cusack's remarkable run.
Wow. Generous from Ebes.
He loved it. Oh, I got to do it because it's Goody Coots. Bill Goody Coots checked in on this one.
Wow. Goody Coots. Been a minute.
Bill Goody Coots from the Arizona Republic said, a movie much different from what its title would suggest, which is kind of a shame because the title is so super awesome. You liked it.
I feel like the movie and the title jibe rather well, really. I mean, they go right along one another, but okay.
But yeah, so that's fun. It's fun to see, when they walk in after they've gone through the hot tub and transformed after feeling 19 again, and see all the 80s references. I actually had no problem with all the 80s references kind of syncing up because, you and I, we're history people. So if it says it's in 1986, I don't want to see any 80s references post 86 when they were looking around that cafeteria lobby hangout. And the worst one for me was seeing the James Brown hot tub. I know it's Hot Tub Time Machine, so it makes sense, but that was earlier in the 80s. It just wouldn't be on the TV at that time, and I had a beef with that.
Oh, so. It might. I mean, it might. It's fine. It's better to have it be before the time period than after.
You're right.
If you're looking at anachronistic shit.
It's a minor beef. Not where's the beef, but it's a minor beef at that. And
which is referenced.
It is. There's a ton of them in there. And it's also... It's also a movie, and this hit me for the first time, and where we're watching it now, you and I are 43 years old, and we've known each other since high school, middle school, and this is a movie about friends, and a friend who everybody doesn't want to talk to anymore, or it's also about friends who aren't talking to each other either. You've got Lou, played by Rob Corddry, who I think Rob Corddry in this movie showed that he could absolutely carry a comedy on his own. He really is. I know he's like the loudest, most annoying character in this movie, but he's really funny in this movie.
Yeah, it makes sense that he would come back eagerly probably for the sequel because he really got to shine in this one.
Yeah, okay, you're right. That makes a ton of sense. So, but this is a movie that I'm looking at my own life now and I'm like, yeah, wow, like everyone's ignoring Lou, that he's annoying to them. They don't want to talk to him. He's an asshole.
Is that what we do?
And then, no, that's not what we do with me. I do that. I'm doing the reverse of that, actually.
Oh,
it's me who's not contacting people. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. So that's the other part too. Is it's not just Lou being ignored. Cusack's ignoring everybody. He's not talking to any of his friends, and then his girl leaves him. Yeah. So I guess I'm being Cusack in a way. Yeah. But I don't know who Clark Duke is. So
I don't think we have a Clark Duke in our crew, but I'm definitely probably feeling most Craig Robinson minus the cuckoldry.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, I thought that you liked this movie because he works at a dog place. When that first came up, I'm like, oh, Travis loves this movie. This is like a dog guy. I don't know why I think that, but whenever there's a dog on film, like, or pets being treated properly, I just think of you, and I'll always think of you. So
He shits all over Lennon's keys. But yes, thank you. I do appreciate that you see dogs and think of me. That makes me happy.
but yeah, like it you know, when they're like making fun of him. So
But if you watch this movie, did you learn the lesson from it? Or are you going to continue to be Cusack? Because I invited you out and you're like, well, I didn't get a proper invitation, so I'm not going to come.
well, I didn't want to, tiptoe on anything, but you're right. It was a reality check. I wasn't like unaware of my own problems as somebody who's not spending time and getting out and socializing either. I'm well aware of them, but seeing this movie reminded me that, there's great things to bond upon, and there's still a lot of good times to be had, and you can still change and learn lessons and grow with people. And like, there's really no reason to get stuck in your ways other than your refusal to change, or maybe a lack or other mental health issues that you're just like, yeah, I'm just going to let those fester and not do anything about it. And even though this movie's a stupid ass comedy of the dumbest comedy possible, it's got a lot to say about the people we bring into our lives, how we connect with them, how we kind of make peace with, okay, I don't love everything about this person, but he's still someone I care about, and all that. And I got that a lot more than this time than I ever did before.
You've got a movie here where a squirrel gets vomited on, and that becomes like a running gag. That's the kind of film you've got here, and that's low brow as fuck. But also, there is a heart to it, and you got Lou's character, as he admits at the end, really was trying to kill himself. Now it still doesn't seem like that at the beginning when you're watching things, but maybe there's some self-awareness going on there, and he's like literally like, I'm going to party myself to death right now, which is possible. So
that's fair.
Yeah, and Luke is such a pathetic character, but also you could kind of relate to him too. You can relate to all these guys, I think, which is partly where the draw is. And ultimately, there's a lot of heart to this movie, even if it's fucking dumb as hell.
It is. It totally is. The relationship between Adam, Cusack's character, and his sister, and then obviously Clark Duke being able to see his mother in her most, fornication heavy. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Seeing your mother as a way you probably not want to see your mother even if you loved her. Hey, it's cool that you have sex. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see
your sister in Adam's case. Character.
That's true too. And then it's about lost loves and the mistakes we made that maybe we wish we could do over. But the fact that they put in this caveat, so Chevy Chase is in this movie. He plays outstandingly the hot tub maintenance man. He crushes it in this role. And I remember saying when I first saw this movie, saying, "Oh, this is great. Chevy Chase is back and he's crushing it."
He's really funny in it, and it's a perfect kind of like, it's not a cameo. It's just like a I don't know, like the role that you give someone and billing in. And Clark Duke is really good with him in those scenes. Like, he is really funny the way that they interact. Like it's just like, why would you speak directly to me? It's really funny. They pair well together, actually.
That's funny about Chevy. Kind of was doing Community then, so he was getting a little bit of run, and then he gets to do this movie, so he's kind of back on the scene, and he's great in this. And then Clark Duke was a person who kind of came out of nowhere, and he's gone now. Like, Clark, as far as I can tell, like, Clark Duke came on. I remember the movie Sex Drive in like 2007 or 8. It was a stupid comedy that he was in, and a couple other films he was in. And he was like kind of all there for a minute in the late 2000s, early 10s, and now I don't know where that guy is. I haven't seen him in a while.
Well, like a lot of times you have actors that have a good run and then just kind of dip off, but he's still doing stuff. He directed a film called Arkansas.
That's right. You brought that up on the show before.
And if you've seen what this man looks like lately, like at least his IMDb picture, I mean, he looks like fucking Jerry Garcia or something. He looks like he's out to lunch, man. Yeah, like maybe that's why you're not getting roles. Get a fucking haircut. Get your glasses back on.
Nice fucking mustache. What the fuck? Okay, yeah.
He looks goofy as hell, but he's probably living the life. He's probably just, like he's doing still enough and living off his hot tub time machine money.
We also got a early days Sebastian Stan. before he became the Winter Soldier, which is, I put that together way after the fact, by the way. When I saw the Winter Soldier, I didn't recognize him as the Ski Patrol guy yet.
Same. Yeah. No, I did too.
But now, obviously. And Lizzie Kaplan, she plays.
Lizzie Kaplan.
I wonder how you feel about this part of the movie, the Lizzie Kaplan character.
It's the worst part of the movie, easily.
There you go.
She has no motivation. She's hitting on, like, what fucking age is she? Is she hitting on someone too young? Like, how is she really? Like, what is happening? Because she doesn't seem to age by the end of the movie when they're reunited. Like, that whole thing doesn't fucking work at all.
I'm so glad. Perfect. Great. Then we can just move on because I completely agree. And I love Lizzie Kaplan. I love seeing her on screen. I do. But
you did leave out someone.
I was going there next.
Okay. All right. Do it.
Crispin
Glover, of course. Yeah, he's hilarious in this movie.
He is so funny when he throws the bags off in rage with one arm and then sticks his hand out for the tip. It's fucking hilarious. And then this whole, you would think it might be for some movies, like this movie really threads a needle, Travis. It does, because this is a hard movie to pull off. It's not easy to make this so fucked up, so funny, so interesting, has heart, like you said. And then a guy like Crispin Glover's character repetitively waiting for this moment for him to lose his fucking arm. It's funny.
And when he finally does lose it, for one, it pops off amazingly easily.
It does.
And for two, like, they're all like, all right, let's go. And they just kind of
the Ski Patrol guys are made. They're bad guys. No, they're not bad guys. They care.
Heroes.
There's no tropes in this movie. There's not a lot of tropes at all, even though there's some real dumb shit that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there must be tropes. There is some really dumb shit.
Not character, I guess. Character tropes, I suppose, are not too strong in this movie. There's not a lot of that. That's what I mean to say.
What's a more absurd moment? Is it Craig Robinson screaming at his 9-year-old wife? Or is it a crowd of people witnessing in a bathroom while one dude is forced to give another dude head at gunpoint? And like cheering and drinking and laughing.
And then another ancillary character, the man himself, Karate Kid, Cobra Kai dude, plays that. That's him.
That was him. Wasn't that
him? Am I crazy?
I don't know. I don't watch the new Cobra Kai show, so I don't recognize what he looks like in his older years.
Oh, okay, I'll have to double check that. I always thought, I was like, oh my God, this guy's back, because it's an 80s movie focused too, so I thought it would be that guy. But yes, you're right. I don't know. Also, would you cry in agony as a woman with beautiful breasts fucked you in a hot tub? That's tough. That's a tough one. You're married, but you're not yourself. You're an 80s version of your pre-married self. You gotta, and that's the thing about how the movie makes that rule. Like they can't just do whatever they want. They got to do exactly what they did. I think that rule does the movie good, I suppose.
And that they break it repeatedly too, because that's partly where the comedy comes in. But also, the movie is saying like you can't go back. Even if you go, like they return to the town, it's all boarded up and shit. And even if you have a time machine and you go back, like you wouldn't do things the same way. Everything, like the past is the past, and you gotta let it go. It doesn't mean that you can't have a future with the same people and all that kind of stuff, and embrace your friends and the now. But yeah, I mean that's what I get from it.
And that was William Zabka. It absolutely was.
William Zabka. That's his name. I knew there was a Z. That was him, huh? Funny.
That was him, the 80s bad guy. Just one of the guys, obviously Karate Kid. Yeah, he was an 80s bad guy all over the place. So it's cool that they brought him in.
Back to School.
Oh, of course, Back to School. Exactly. Also, I just had to get this on the record, and not that anyone cares, but there are some really beautiful women in this room, and I kind of feel like I love 80s style, and I didn't really know that until it kind of like that Jenny character that is Cusack's girlfriend. She's so bubbly and she's so gorgeous, and they say she's tight. She's really tight. She is. I mean, I can get that. I get that. I'm 43 now. Yeah, things change. I get it. I would probably say the same things.
Well, yeah, it's real easy to look back on the girlfriend you had when you were 19 and be like, yeah, she was great. But like, I mean,
she doesn't have a lot going on. I will say that.
Yeah. Like almost almost every person is beautiful at 19. So it's the bar is low.
Okay, that's a fair point. But I just want to say that first time I saw this movie, I still think of that. I don't even know who that actress is, but I was like, oh my God, this woman is beautiful. Who are you? She played it to a T. So,
I got a question.
Lindsay Fonseca. Okay, there you go. Lindsay Fonseca. Thank you.
So as I mentioned, we watched this movie a while ago because we were supposed to do it, and then we happened as a podcast. I read over my notes before, and it all made sense. And then I have this one note that maybe you can explain to me because it's a reference to the film, but I don't know what the fuck it means. Cincinnati fetus? Does that mean anything to you?
It doesn't. No, I got nothing.
It's
what part of the movie is that?
It's shortly after the note I have before that is when Cordry's character goes to beat off Clark Duke. It says, "I'm just warming you up, guys. Do that."
Yeah, I didn't catch that one, and I don't know what that means. We've been stumped. Cincinnati fetus. Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's a reference to the film. I hope it makes sense for someone listening.
Yeah, I hope it does too. Yeah, I also think this should be a good feast movie. We should watch this at the feast. It's definitely a good feast movie. I can't believe we've never done that. Just a side note.
More of a late night as opposed to the early morning trash fest.
Yeah, maybe not as trash enough. That's fair. You're right. Yeah. It's no street trash.
It's no street trash.
It's no street trash. But this movie is funny and it's entertaining and it flies by and it's got all the 80s stuff that you would want out of it. We love 80s music. It's one of the best decades. I'm not saying it's the best, but
soundtrack's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's everything you would love. You get Bowie and you get everything. All the hits, all the great songs of the decade are here. And also this character of, Nick, played by Craig Robinson, about, you and I have both played music. We played music together, right? We've been in bands. So I definitely relate to that character. Again, another reason why every character is relatable in one way or another about how he didn't do what he thought he would do. But he also, he loved his wife, even though his wife cheated on him. So it's complex. That's fucking life.
Yeah, life is complex. You have a dream. Those dreams work out for very few people. And you look backwards the rest of your life and wonder what if, and then, it's hard. I'm not married, but some people, it's like, is it this person's fault, or is it my fault, or is it time? Well, who knows? But the movie.
I'm branded for life now. So
when did you get that? You got the tattoo wedding ring? When did that happen?
Yeah, I did that last weekend, man.
What is it? Is it her signature? What does it say?
It's the L from her signature with a little heart on it. That's her actual L. So yeah, we're locked in.
Locked in. Did she get an M? She
did. Yep. Right. She got her first tattoo.
Wow. All right, well, good for you guys. Never gonna lose them. It'll be easy that way.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. But
unless you have to chop off the finger to feed to someone because they don't want to kill you, but they want to ethically source your meat. In that case, you might lose that finger.
Start sucking. Yeah, maybe I gotta start sucking someone's dick, and I might have to lose a finger to get out of it. I don't know. I'd rather suck a dick than lose a finger for sure. So that's not even a debate.
No contest.
Yeah, no contest. Craig Robinson, though, plays that song that I don't like. That's the only thing I don't like about his choice.
Oh, they play this song from the future, the fucking Black Eyed Peas song.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal. I just want to say I didn't recommend or approve of that choice. So.
On the other hand, the song that Lou, the Motley Crue song that he claims is his own, "Home Sweet Home," pretty damn good song that I kind of forgot about.
Dude, I can't stand Motley Crue. I'm pretty sure we both agree on that.
I don't like it at all. It's a pretty good song, though.
I love that song. It's a great song. I've played it even on the piano. I'm like, oh, this is simple enough. I can play that, and I did. And it's a good melody. It's a great melody. But Motley Crue sucks. Yeah, song's good though.
They suck, but yeah.
Not a fan. Good song. I agree. What else? Any other points? Cincinnati fetus.
Okay. I questioned whether or not I was going to admit this or not because I often, point out on the show when we watch movies from a while ago, there would be language that is not funny now. It's inappropriate now, right? It's a slur, and that's not okay. And the slur that is used by the character Lou at the end of the film when he's talking to his own family, I for days walked around and would just start laughing if that popped into my head. I think of my dog sound and think of that moment, just start laughing like, fuck. Damn it.
Oh my God. Turns out you're a human being, Travis. How about that?
This is very fucking funny. Call your family that.
Did you like how Lou changed the future? Did you care? It's a wrap up.
Well, so, for as far as the construct of the film goes, you have one character that chooses to stay behind, and other characters that desperately want to go home. And I could understand doing either one of those things, if I was in that scenario. So I'm glad that we kind of get to see both. And yeah, Lou is not an ethical guy in stealing everyone's intellectual property and everything, but we never ever throughout the film is he really, we're not seeing him as like a super beacon of ethics anyway. So it's fine. It's fine. It's a good little, what would you say? Like a bookend, or not bookend, but it's kind of like a good little tack on at the end of the movie, kind of like give it a moment, make it fun.
Yeah. And of course, the fact that he's his son, Clark Duke, of course, the fact that he may not exist because he pulls out. It's funny. It's so funny. You got to finish the job, Lou.
Something nitpicky that did bother me is that they're all getting drunk and the hot tub spins around and everything, and they wake up and they're back in the past. But then when they go back to the future, when they go back to the future, like suddenly they're like in the sky. There's a huge pillar. They're like, it's like a much bigger production. And I'm like, I would have woken them up, at least one of them. So it's just, I don't like the inconsistency there, but that's it's quibble.
Yeah. Also, Chernobyl happened that year. So Chernobyl, there you go. It's not a funny thing, but yeah. Okay. It's referential.
Oh, that is kind of, I didn't really put two and two together that like, that's partly why Sebastian Stan character is freaking out about it. Cause like, it's fresh in the news for him, Chernobyl. And then, for us, it's like, it could be a funny reference.
Right. Yeah. And also the thing about this film is that you try your best not try to follow the rules, right? They still end up fucking things up. Like it starts to happen when they're doing those bets with the football game, which I know very well. It's a very famous Denver football game, 1987 playoffs. And that squirrel comes up and changes it of what they thought they knew, even though they were trying to follow along and break the rule. They were not wanting to break the rules. And that was the thing about, by the way, Lou is known as the Violator, which is
that's right.
Not a great name. But
I'm just a Depeche Mode fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lou loves Depeche Mode. That makes a lot of sense. But it also is character appropriate. But in that realm, they really need him to not be selfish, and it's so hard for him to do so. And then it doesn't work out anyways. And I think that's the movie telling you, like, again, one of these like meta things going on beyond everything you see is like, you may try your best, you may have a plan, but fuck your plans. And that's something we all know now.
Butterfly effect. Yeah.
Oh, God. So sick of that in movies. The fucking butterfly. That movie happened, and they reference the movie in this movie, which I can't blame them. But
yeah. But no, but that is what's happening when you puked on the squirrel. Now the squirrel's fucking up the football game. So
stupid. It's so stupid.
It's a stupid movie.
It is a stupid movie.
Yeah.
And early on, it's a really great scene when the girl leaves that message and how they set that up with the red stickers and everything. And he didn't put a red sticker on the TV, but I took it anyway. It was really good timing. I like the writing there. I like the flow of that. It sets the movie up well. Like, okay, we're going to make you laugh, but this is also a story we're telling. And the fact that Clark Duke plays in the basement doing that Second Life bullshit, as Adam says, it's an interesting. Yeah.
Okay, that was another note. I didn't know what it made. I'm like, what does prison the game mean? I don't understand this. But now I understand. It's the reference. Now because I read. Yeah, I made a note of it, but I just didn't remember what it was. But it's funny.
Prison the game.
It's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. This guy is just sitting in his basement pretending to live a life. He's not living life, and they're trying to sell that part of it too. That is it more rewarding to be out there and living it as opposed to pretending to do so all alone.
For a stupid, gross comedy, they cover a lot of ground.
They do.
They actually do. But the human experience, especially for men of a certain age.
Exactly. And it's funny now we're in 2024 reviewing this, analyzing it, and it's only become more common to have these worlds now that are built, these massive online realms where you could just be lost in it more than you ever could have 14 years ago. It's just become more common. So it didn't go away. It got worse involved. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Well, you ready?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you picked it, buddy. Go ahead.
I picked it. It's gross, but obviously I think based on this conversation, it's clear that it still holds up for me. I still get a lot out of it. Surprisingly, I kind of was expecting to. I was worried. I don't pick comedies that much on the show because a lot of times there's not a lot there to talk about. Like when we did The Other Guys, for instance, it ends up being like really grasping for straws, talking about police brutality and shit. So, but surprisingly, there is a lot more here than I expected. I think that if Eric had been here, I do always miss his perspective when he's not here. Maybe we could have talked him into some of appreciating some of it, maybe and he's a sensitive guy. He would get up. He would get a lot of the same stuff that we're talking about in terms of longing for the past and all that kind of jaded shit. So it's a little bit of a dopey movie, but it's fun and it's actually got a heart. So yeah, of course it holds up for me.
Yeah, Eric's point of view would be useful, but we would also have to assume that he actually gave it the time instead of just kind of glancing at it as a one-off.
While driving his car.
Well, yeah, while driving his car, which, I didn't, had he ever seen this before? He hadn't, right?
No, he hadn't. And that would play into maybe not. Again, we're all assuming he didn't like it, but I think we assume safely.
I think, yeah, he doesn't really pussyfoot there. So it's okay. We'll miss his perspective here, but we didn't really need it because it is a fun movie. It's dumb. It's funny. It's fascinating. It makes you think about your own life, especially if you're of a certain age. Even if you're 22 or you're 18 and you're going into those times where you're really tight with your group of friends and they mean everything to you. And it's such a great little. There's so many great little lines in this film, which you wouldn't expect from a movie called Hot Tub Time Machine. But it's like he says when he's sitting there, John Cusack's character Adam says, we had momentum. We were winning.
Everybody seemed to care more, right?
Exactly. Everybody seemed to care more. And I gotta assume that you and I both were like, yeah, I can relate to that for sure.
And the hot tub starts glowing right at that moment. So it's not just the dumping the Chernobyl on there. There's something mystical happening.
Exactly, right. They're throwing in mysticism and stupidity and absurdity all at the same time. And that's when Chevy Chase shows up and talks about the hot tub being on the fritz. And it's just a fun movie, man. I mean, yes. And it's not even that dated. I mean, Travis mentioned some of the language and some of the slurs, but that was part of that final run of those movies and that allowance, I suppose, by society anyways. That's over now. It is, at least in mainstream film. But it's also, again, I always bring this up. It's accurate. These people talk this way. And it's like the old argument you want to make about Quentin Tarantino's dialogue and how he's been challenged for using the N-word too much in his films. But, there's black actors who do his roles and they support him because they're authentic to the roles. And as long as it's authentic to the people and the characters and the story being told, I will always understand that. But this movie's
not filled with slurs. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's not.
The movie's it's not like ridden with slurs.
That's what I was just going to say. It's not even that serious. So this movie is just a lot of fun, and it's a good romp. Yeah, go on an adventure. Remind yourself of what you used to be or what you are or maybe what you become. Who knows, whatever age you are. But I think everybody from all genders and all backgrounds can get something out of this film and be like, wow, this had something. Like, don't just assume it's a stupid comedy. It's not just a stupid comedy. It really isn't. And I think that's why Hot Tub Time Machine holds up. It's a fun film. I'll watch it for a long time. I'll always watch this movie.
Yeah, I will too.
Yeah, it's just a good time. So I'm glad you chose it. That was a fine choice. And I probably would have brought it to the table sooner or later anyways. Obviously, yeah, me and Travis obviously like it. We enjoy the film, and we've enjoyed it prior. And, it's all about that Great White Buffalo. Great White Buffalo. So you have Eric's pick for next week, sir. Is that correct?
No, I thought you did.
Uh-oh. Well, let's see. I
texted him and said, "Hey, let us know what you're. I said, give us your pick for Tuesday if you haven't already." But I guess
you did.
Didn't do that. So I guess we'll find out what we're doing and hopefully record on Tuesday as planned and get back into the regular swing of things.
Oh shit! Okay. All right. Well, we don't know Eric's pick. We'll give it to you as soon as we can. And that's why you follow us on social media, or you can email the show, cinema9pod@gmail.com. And it's been a pleasure. Good call. Cinema 9, Travis, I'm Mike. We're out of here.
Great White Buffalo.
Great White Buffalo. Hey, look, it's the douchebag from Karate Kid 3.